Hey everybody, welcome to week 12 of class. I apologize, I am out of the office this week and I just needed to get a video out to you, so I had to do it in my car, so I apologize for that up front. But this week we are going to dive in to look at perhaps one of the more significant decades of the 20th century. One could argue that the 1920s is that decade, but I think there's a really strong argument to be made for the 1950s as well. There's a number of different things we're going to be assessing this week, but two main topics are going to be, one, we're going to be looking at the development of a consumer culture. Following World War II, Americans began to purchase items in mass. Many of the wartime factories, which had made wartime goods, are going to be transformed into peacetime goods. And you're going to begin to see a whole range of new commodities that people are going to be able to purchase. And purchase they will, not only with hard currency, but also on credit. And in fact, it's during the 1950s that you begin to see the first credit card. It was initially a dining card. It was then extended to all other types of purchases. But people are going to be buying homes, cars, TVs, refrigerators, vacuum cleaners, washing machines. It is a consumer culture. We go from a production society to a consumer society. And during this period, this consumer culture begins to help to facilitate the other topic that we'll look at, and that's the rise of a unique youth culture, which is punctuated by rock and roll music, television shows, and a range of other things. Indeed, more money will be spent on students and children at this time. And children and students will, in fact, have more leisure time and more money with which to purchase the new transistor radios and records and what have you. And so a really important movement goes on during the 1950s here with the youth and their children and their parents, rather, that is going to have a profound impact on the following decade as well, particularly when we begin to think about the counterculture. Indeed, one of the things that happens is that kids during the 1950s are in many ways, and when I say this, I mean white middle-class kids, generally speaking, are seeing the benefits of a consumer society, and they become disaffected with that by the 1960s, and it's going to give rise to the counterculture. But before I get too ahead of myself, I definitely just want to mention that, but I don't want to get too far ahead. So that's generally where we're going to be at this week. And as far as assignments go, you just have your discussion boards that you need to do. Of course, your main post by Thursday and your subsequent post to another student, as well as responding to any of my comments, needs to be up by Sunday. And then the only other thing that you do have coming up that you might want to be thinking about is that second PowerPoint assignment. But again, you still have a little bit of time on that, so you don't need to stress too terribly much, okay? That's what I've got for you. And again, sorry for the awkward environment that this video was presented in, but I wanted to make sure I get this out early enough. So with that, as always, if you have questions, let me know and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, go in peace, be warm and filled. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper, and may the odds forever be in your favor. Have a blessed week, guys.